on the issue of the laws, the abortion laws you were talking about,
Yep.
they wouldn't work against guns because what happened with the abortion laws was the providers shut down because they were deterred by the threat of a lawsuit against them that would be successful. So in the context of a lawsuit, you can raise your constitutional defense that the law is unconstitutional because it violates your, violates your rights. And you could do that. And if you win, the lawsuit gets dismissed. But you can't get a preliminary injunction against anyone because the court's held that the state agencies are not responsible for implementing the law.
Well, at this point,
so it wouldn't work for guns because people will still exercise their rights. They won't care about lawsuits. They expect they'll win in the courts when they raise their constitutional defense, whereas the right to abortion is really up in the air right now.
Right, but at this current juncture, it's still a constitutional right.
No, I know what you're saying here. He's saying that each case would be resolved by claiming that it's an abridgment of their constitutional right. So you'd have to handle it on a case by case basis. But the
lawsuit,
right, the specter of an impending lawsuit. But if I'm selling guns, if I'm a small gun dealer at a let's say at a gun show, and we put the number high enough, and we say, in this instance, in this civil case, you lose. You're not necessarily eligible for lawyers. I mean, if you win, you're not necessarily eligible for lawyers' fees, or you just make it a big amount that becomes a scary prospect, and you just levy suits. So, I mean, I think like in general, I think it's not going to be quite as effective, but you can certainly, scare certain sectors without a doubt. And then the bottom line is then, will that law ever be challenged? Maybe it won't be. Maybe nobody would challenge that law, but and take it up to the Supreme Court. But that's the point ultimately, right? Is to force the Supreme Court to rule on the constitutionality of the law in and of itself. And show what a mockery they're making about, constitutionally protected rights. But I see what you're saying in terms of like, as a deterrent, this law is not meant to, this law is meant to make it unprofitable or scary or dangerous for providers to function or for people to help because they don't want to be involved in it. But you could also, say like, well, if you drove someone to a gun place, you could say like, oh, you're renting your store, your building to a gun shop. We're going to sue you too. Right?
Nope, I lost you.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, my signal's breaking up.
All right. Appreciate the call. Go. Thank you. I mean,
the technical point is not wrong. It's more just like, this is just a reaction to but the idea is going to do. He's saying that this law is effective because of the nature of getting an abortion. The lawsuit of 10,000 will have a chilling effect on abortion providers because they can't afford to have 30 lawsuits against them, as opposed to a gun dealer who might be able to. But I'm quite sure that you could figure out a way in which you could make it, painful for everybody involved, which is really the whole point. And could you make it class action too, if there are multiple victims, say, of a gun violence incident? Well, I don't know if you need to make it about. You don't make it about gun violence. You just make it about selling a gun, providing a gun. I mean, I don't understand. Like, we could be heading to an ability to carry a gun without even concealing it in New York City.
I haven't really thought this through, but I'm not sure why the state legislature couldn't pass a law that says if you feel in any way intimidated by someone carrying a gun and you can prove that intimidation has inhibited your life in any way, because you don't have to prove damages on the civil suit about an abortion.
Yeah.
Like, what are the damages? If you feel in any way like intimidated, you can sue somebody who carries a gun around.
Yeah. If New York passes open carry or anything close, I 100% would support this.
Well, there's an attempt to say that they cannot inhibit open carry. There's a lawsuit. There's a case in front of the Supreme Court right now, if I'm not mistaken, about that very thing. And, but I mean, I don't know why you couldn't argue. Like, I'm nervous about the guy down the street who I hear shooting, where I hear that guy hunting, and that noise is scaring me, and I'm going to sue for $15,000. I mean, I'm not sure why you couldn't do that.